Whether you're brand new or deep in the game, we're breaking disc golf down one term at a time. This is Defining Disc Golf. Different types of discs and how to throw them. There are 5 different types of discs that players use in disc golf. Unlike in traditional golf where players use a special club for tee shots or putting, any disc in disc golf could technically be used for any throw, depending on what you need from that shot. To better understand the different types of discs, we're going to introduce you to the first of 4 flight numbers that manufacturers assign to their discs to help describe their flight characteristics. Speed. Speed is defined by the aerodynamic shape of the disc, and both affects how fast it flies through the air, and also how fast you need to throw it to get the desired flight. We'll explore much more about flight numbers in future videos. Let's begin with the disc that typically finishes each hole, putters. Putters are rated at either 1, 2, or 3 speed, and they are the least aerodynamic. Putters don't fly as far as other discs, which can be useful when you want to limit how far your disc will go. For example, if there's a water feature behind the basket. Putters are also the preferred disc for finishing a hole, once you are within putting range, which of course varies from player to player. We'll explore different putting techniques in a future video. While many putters are technically labeled as putt and approach discs, there is a totally separate category of approach discs. Approach discs are typically 3 or 4 speed discs. You wouldn't really use approach discs for putting, but they can be very valuable for getting close to the basket when you're outside your comfortable putting range. Many manufacturers have a separate designation for approach discs, while others simply call them putt and approach discs. Moving up in speed, we have mid-range discs, which are slightly more aerodynamic than putters or approach discs, and therefore faster between speeds 4 and 6. Mid-ranges stay in the air longer than putters, sacrificing some control for more distance. Next, we have fairway drivers. Fairway drivers typically range between speeds 6 and 10. The higher the speed, the faster you need to throw to achieve the desired flight. As you increase in speed, your margin of error grows, as discs that fly further have more time to deviate from their intended flight path. Finally, we have distance drivers, which range from speeds 10 to 14. These are very fast, very aerodynamic discs used for maximum distance and are not ideal for newer players. Much like fairway drivers, the further a distance driver flies, the more time there is for it to deviate from its intended flight path. You typically need more airspace for a distance driver to achieve its maximum distance. As discs increase in speed, the width of the rim also increases, while the depth of the rim typically decreases. This drastically changes how a disc can feel in your hand, and may significantly impact what discs you feel comfortable throwing depending on how you hold the disc. We'll talk about different ways of gripping discs in a future video. And those are the 5 different types of discs in disc golf. There are 3 primary ways to throw a disc golf disc: backhand, forehand, and putting. The backhand throw in disc golf has the greatest distance potential, but can be complex for some players to learn. To get started, let's take a look at a backhand throw from standstill. Players should line up perpendicular to the target or the desired flight path they're taking. For your first throw, simply find a grip on the disc that's comfortable. We'll explore different types of grips in a future video. Stagger one foot slightly in front of the other so there's room for your hips and shoulders to rotate. Reach back straight away from the target with the disc and pull it through your chest while coiling your arms slightly. As you pull through, your hips, shoulder, elbow, and wrist become levers to turn your arm into a whip. Instead of releasing or letting go of the disc should be pulled from your hand by its own spin and momentum. To start, try to pull the disc through level and flat. We'll explore different release angles and how they affect flight in future videos. For newer players, you should expect to see the disc fall out of the sky fairly quickly to the left on a right-handed backhand throw. Simply reverse that direction if you're left-handed. And that is a backhand throw. Let's see that one more time, nice and slow from several angles. Next, let's take a look at the forehand. Forehand throws are very useful in disc golf because they impart the opposite spin that a backhand throw does. This opposite spin gives the disc the opposite flight shape and enables players to throw around obstacles in two different directions. Forehand throws typically don't travel as far as a backhand throw, as you sacrifice some power but impart more initial spin onto the disc. You'll see many players place their thumb on the top of the flight plate with a couple fingers under the flight plate in different configurations. Ensure that you're applying pressure to the inside rim when you're throwing the disc. We'll discuss, once again, different types of grips in a future video. Bring the disc back and lead with your elbow as you throw, keeping your hand facing up, and simply snap or flick your wrist to give the disc extra spin as it leaves your hand. And that is a forehand. Let's see that again from a couple angles. Finally, we need to talk about putting. There's a saying in disc golf: drive for show, putt for dough. While throwing full power drives is fun to do and fun to watch, making putts is the difference between a great round and a not so great round. We'll explore different putting techniques in a future video, but for now, find a grip that's comfortable for you. For now, it's important to find a grip that feels comfortable and allows the disc to release cleanly from your hand. Then, you're simply playing catch with the basket. Imagine that you're throwing a frisbee to a friend, but this time, that friend is the basket. If you find you're too far away to comfortably play catch with the basket, then you need to switch to either a backhand or forehand approach. And that is how you throw a disc in disc golf. Please consider subscribing to our channel for in-depth disc comparisons, plastic and disc analysis, as well as interviews with influential people from the world of disc golf. Or click the link in the description for our full Defining Disc Golf playlist. For Six-Sided Discs, I'm Greg. We'll see you in the next one. If you like this content and want to see more, please consider liking the video, subscribing to our channel, or supporting us on Patreon. Your support makes this content possible.